Alright guys, welcome back to another video. I just wanted to stop at this hole over my shoulder real quick because it's a very unique hole. I mean, this sandstone that kind of creates this hole is just a very unique geologic feature here in this part of West Virginia, but this is a pretty famous hole. I mean, you can see it. It does get stocked to hell, and I was hoping that maybe there'd be like a little stock trout in there, or maybe one or two, but I didn't see any. Not surprising. It's also, there's literally ice floating down the river right now, because it got down to like 9 degrees tonight, even though it's probably 25. It's supposed to get up into the 30s today. But anyway, idea for today's video is basically to kind of show you guys my thought process behind like how I winter fish and stuff, and how I catch fish even in some pretty brutal conditions. So let's go get fishing and stop screwing around at this hole, as cool as it is. But let's actually try to catch some fish today. Gosh guys, I just got a nice fish. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what this is. All right, let's do this then. What are you? Are you a native? That is a big native brook trout. That's a real big native brook trout. Holy cow. What the heck, guys? Let's go. Sorry I wasn't recording. I was kind of getting depressed about the lack of fish I was seeing. I spooked like 1 or 2 fish early, and then I haven't seen one for a minute. And I just like caught this really nice brook trout. I mean, holy cow. It's probably a 10-inch fish. Like, seriously. That's incredible. I'm gonna get the big camera out for this guy. Alright, so that actually gives me so much more confidence. I was beginning to give up on the stream, and I was about to just like switch creeks, which I still might do. It's only like 1:15, but I'll definitely fish more this creek because I've seen like 2 fish, 3 fish, and they've all been like similar size. I wasn't sure what they were, to be honest with you. Finally caught one. I was actually jigging my nymph across the bottom, and I saw a roll, and I was like, was that a fish set up into it? It was. It was a nice brook trout too. So I guess I'm going to continue fishing up through here and see if I can't catch, you know, another fish or 2 and actually be recording for them. All right guys, so I've switched to a dry dropper, mostly because, not because I think they're gonna eat the dry, but because it'll get me like a better drag-free drift at distance, which I think is what I need at this point. I could be wrong, but that's my gut feeling. Oh, I think that was a fish. That's a fish. Let's go! What are you, little buddy? Little nativo? Little nativa? Need a brookie? Not nearly as big as that other one I caught, but cute little fish. Gotta be a bigger fish than that in this hole, but I'll take it at this point. Thanks, little buddy. Might as well give a tip since I'm standing here. So a lot of times in the winter, fish will sit in slower water because it's cold. They don't want to be moving a bunch, and they just sit like, so like normally maybe fish in this hole might sit on the right side where that current is, but I've casted the right side a bunch of times, nothing. Casted the left side where it's really slack and immediately had 2 hits. So that's just one tip for winter fishing. A lot of times the fish are gonna sit in like much slower water than they normally would in like the summer, for instance. So that should be something you keep in mind a little bit as you go throughout the day. Oh, that was another one. That was a fish too. Got another one. Well, these things aren't very big, but after not catching fish for a while, I think I'm also kind of finally figuring out what I'm looking for in this stream. And I think it really just has to do with listening to my own teachings, which is to look for slack water and not fish where they would be in the summer. It's like a little guy like that. Do you see what he just did? He just got underneath that leaf there. But yeah, look for slack water. The fish definitely sit in different spots than they do in the summer. A lot of times there's a lot of crossover, but yeah, something to keep in mind. Ooh, that's a big one. That's the one we're looking for there, boys. Stay pinned, buddy. That's what we were looking for. Yeah, that's what we knew was in here. That's another 8-incher-ish. Let's go. Man, I knew that fish had to be in there. It was too good of a hole. And there's a lot of little fish in there, but come on now. He's got the nymph in him, but that's some awful color, or awful. Here, let me, well, I'm not gonna be able to do much better than that. Other than just try to lean him so he's in the sun a little bit. There you go, it's probably an 8-inch fish, I'd guess. I'm gonna go ahead and try to unpeg him real quick. All right guys, I got him undone, there he is. Beautiful little brookie. Wow, I'm gonna go ahead and release him real quick here. I'll slow motion release him. We might go catch some more fish out of here, to be honest with you. All right guys, so I'm gonna let this hole reset for a second because I think I can catch some more fish because I threw in there and had another really nice brook trout, like 8-ish inch, maybe even a tad bigger, come out and eat my nymph, and I missed him. And I know exactly where he's laying, but then I got stuck. But I just wanna go over real quick why I'm throwing a dry dropper, because I started off just throwing like one singular nymph without a dry on there, and I caught that one real nice fish, which was probably the biggest fish of the day, to be honest. So I caught that one fish and that was it. And I switched to put a dry dropper on, and the reason I did that is because the dry dropper gets a more natural drift, especially when you're making longer casts. And what I realized in this creek is that I was spooking fish before I was getting to them, because the water's like really super clear in here. So to kind of combat that, I put on a dry and cast it out there, and the dry basically lets that nymph have a really natural drift through the current. And it also allows me to get way further away from it and make a really long cast up, which allows me to not spook as many fish. And even though I do not ever think that these fish are gonna eat the dry when it's 30 degrees, not impossible, but probably not gonna eat the dry when it's 30 degrees, it still allows me to make longer casts and make better drifts. If I was just Euro nymphing, I wouldn't be able to do that. The nymph that fish was eating is real small. I think this is size 16 maybe. Little nymph's got a red hot spot, and I just had a dry fly land on me. What is that? Little blue-winged olive. That's weird. I don't like see anything hatching, but one just landed on my finger. Huh. Have to watch out for that. But you can see just this little nymph here. Maybe you can see it. Let's try to hold it like this so you can see it maybe a little better. But that's the nymph I was using. I just dropped it. Oh no. Well, now I just lost the nymph, trying to show it off. But you guys saw it, I hope, because I'm not taking another one out to lose it. I hate when I drop things when it's snowing, or when there's snow on the ground, because they just disappear immediately. But anyway, that's kind of why I'm throwing the dry dropper. And yeah, this hole is like the honey hole of all honey holes, because I only saw like 1 or 2 fish, including the one I caught up to this point. And now I'm like pulling a fish out or having a bite almost every cast. So I'm gonna fish this hole for another little bit and then move on up the creek. Another one. This one might be bigger than the last one. No, he's about the same size. Dude, why is this like the honey hole of all honey holes? Come here, buddy. It's literally almost identical to the last one. Actually might be a little bit bigger. Woohoo! They're all sitting up closer to that log up at the top. Look at this one. Look at this fella. Are you undone? Oh, he's already undone. Sweet. Look at that. It's another beautiful brook trout. I actually might get an underwater release for this one. Okay, so I finally come up on another hole that looks pretty good. At least it's deep enough. Has good cover. It's got just about everything. And it's got a fish too. Just got a hit right there, baby. All right. This is good. This is very good. Real nice one. Real nice. Well, not as nice as I thought. He's not bad though. I'm stuck in a tree. Come back here. Oh my gosh, he's fat. Oh, it's a rainbow trout. Falling. Look, you guys. A rainbow trout. Chill. That's the first rainbow of the day. I read that they were in here, but I hadn't seen anything that looked like a rainbow trout to me. That's cool though, rainbow trout. Might we'll catch more out of there, to be honest with you. That's also, a lot of times in these winter holes, or when it's winter time, if you find one fish, there's usually a bunch of fish in there. Like rarely are you just like finding one fish at a pop. I mean, you do sometimes, but I'd be shocked if I don't catch another fish in this hole. There it is. They're in there. Yep. Another one. Another one just like the other one. Ooh, that's a nice brook trout. Real nice brookie. Come here, buddy. Oh, yes. So I just caught a rainbow trout and then turned around and immediately caught a brook trout. It's the magic. It's the magic of fishing some new creeks. I've never seen this creek before in my life, by the way, guys. This is just purely one that I read about, did some research on. Then here we are catching, look at the colors on that native. My gosh, beautiful native brookies and freaking rainbow trout. Get another underwater release of this guy. God, I wish I had a different rod. I see fish. I see fish. I guess so. I see a handful of fish right here. If I can get the cast into where they are, I just about guarantee I'd have a hit. Got him. Oh, what is it? You brook trout? Yep, brook trout. Trying to get down out of here, out of this, down here where I'm not spooking every fish in the world. I was gonna say, I could see a couple fish in there. This was not the biggest one, let's put it that way. Look at that guy though. He's pretty. Thanks, buddy. Back to your abode. Let's see if I can't catch another one in there. I about guarantee I can, assuming that didn't spook every fish in the hole, which it very well could have. I thought I saw one or two in there that were bigger than that, but I could be full of crap. I wouldn't listen to me, to be honest with you. A dry fly eat. No way. Dry fly eat in January with 30-degree weather. Let's go. I'm not kidding you guys. This fish just ate the dry fly. Let's go. If you don't believe me, there's the dry fly in its mouth. It's a fat brook trout too. He's hefty. Dry fly, mouth, 30 degrees. Can't complain about that. That was sweet. Well guys, in my opinion, if a dry fly eat proves anything, it's just that brook trout are opportunistic feeders. because there's really no hatches going off, but they see something that they got to eat and they're just like all over it. There was several fish there. I don't really see them now, but I'm sure they're somewhere. Another one. Ugh. Another one just like the, oh, he got off. Thanks for playing though, buddy. Another one. Hoot. Come on, get in the net, buddy. Brookie, brookie, brookie. I'm telling you guys, once you find these like little honey holes, it can be pretty incredible how many fish are sitting in them. Pretty incredible. There's another one. Just gorgeous native brook trout. Really doesn't get much better than that. Such incredible little fish. Bye, my friend. This hole right here is the juice. It's almost as juicy as that other hole from earlier. Another fish. I'll try to drop it back in there a little further. Well, I didn't, but it's the thought that counts, right? Ooh, another brook trout. It feels good, honestly, guys. It feels good to finally catch some fish. Can you chill out, buddy? Feels good to finally catch some fish. I mean, it's the first day in like weeks that it's gotten up into the 30s, legitimately. And because of that, I'm catching fish like nobody's business. And look at that. That's like, I mean, that's quite a few fish I've caught out of this hole alone. Mostly natives, although there was one little rainbow in there. But, I mean, my gosh. Can't complain about a day like this. It's pretty incredible, honestly. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I just got out of the creek. I went up until I basically ran a creek that I was able to fish or allowed to fish. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video though, because it was fun for me to finally catch some fish. Because I've been struggling for probably 2 weeks now about like really catching numbers of fish. I can always catch like a fish or two, but it's just been rough. And finally today, I don't know if this creek's just money. I don't know if it was just because it's warm today. It's probably like 35 degrees right now, maybe. I don't know. I think it's a little bit above freezing or right around that mark, probably low 30s. And yeah, I caught like a crap ton of fish, which is just, oh, I'm so thankful to finally catch some fish. But I also hope you guys maybe learn something about winter trout fishing. You know, try to find the slower pockets, the deeper pools. Don't necessarily, I'm not saying don't, let me rephrase that. I usually skip over some of the summer runs or some of the like good pocket water that I'd normally fish, just because the fish don't seem to hang there. And usually when you're winter fishing and you find a pot, like a hole with fish in it, there's usually like all the fish in the whole stretch are probably in that hole. Just because it's, as I said, with the water being lower for probably the past like 3 or 4 months or more, it's protection from birds and other predators and stuff like that. So they usually gravitate towards the bigger holes or the holes with cover or something like that, rather than sitting out in the runs and stuff like they probably will be here in like a month or two. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think down below. And yeah, catch you in the next video.